Hello, my name is Emma, and I'm going to do a tag. I haven't done a tag video in a really, really long time, but I'm sort of in the mood. So this tag is the Sisterhood of the World tag by, or I don't know who created it, but Emma from Drinking About My Shelf tagged me to do it. And I think this is how it works. I think you just answer questions, and each of the questions depend on the person who tagged you. So Emma wrote her own questions. In Emma's video, she was drunk, which means it was an incredibly entertaining video, although all of Emma's videos are very entertaining. I don't have any alcohol, but I have ginger ale, which is sometimes used when you mix alcohol with like a Moscow Mule. Anyway, I'm a genius about alcohol. You can tell me that I drink. You can tell that I drink all the time. I sound drunk. Good Lord. Okay, so the first question is, if you had to marry a fictional villain, who would you pick? I didn't want to pick anyone truly villainous. I didn't want to pick Voldemort. I didn't want to pick Rochester. So I decided to choose Frank Churchill from Jane Austen's Emma. Frank Churchill is just kind of a jerk. He leads Emma on, he leads his family on into thinking that he's going to get with Emma. He's just altogether kind of a slimy person, kind of like what are you doing? Why are you messing with Jane Fairfax? What did she do to deserve this kind of rudeness? Frank Churchill is a guy who would definitely be a meninist in today's society. But he's cute in all the adaptations, so. Number 2, if your house was flooding and you could only rescue one of your books, which would you save? Surprise, surprise, I would pick The Magicians by Lev Grossman. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I love this series. This is a book that got me into reading in a very serious way. And this is my signed copy. And it says, this book is for Emma. And then it has his signature, and it says Mischief Managed. And I don't just love this book because it's signed. I love this book because of the story of getting it signed. I went to a reading at this bar a few years ago, and I was 17, and he was there, and I talked to him for a half an hour, and we talked about at the time I was really into Nerdfighteria and being a nerd fighter and all of that. We talked about that. We talked about Dungeons and Dragons, and we talked about Harry Potter, and it was one of the most rewarding, exciting, lovely experiences I've ever had with an author. So I would have to say The Magicians, not only because it's my favorite book, but because of that experience. I love it. I love it so much. Next, 3. Which booktuber would you trust to choose everything you read for the rest of your life? This is a very difficult question. I would honestly say Emma, who tagged me in this video, because we read very similar books. But I would also probably trust, Ileana from Virginia Woolf, because she knows me very, very well. And she knows all of my personal things, and I think that would help quite a bit. So those two, or Mike from Slice of Mike, because we also read very similar things. So any of those lovely human beings. Next, 4. What bookish tattoos do you have / what would you like to get? I have no bookish tattoos. I am not tattooed in any way. And I think if I got one, I would probably get something to do with The Magicians, because I'm obsessed with it. Probably the seal of, you know what? No, I would probably get something to do with Fillory. I don't know exactly what it would be, but it would be a Magicians related tattoo. I mean, Harry Potter would also be good, but I think that for me, a book that has made a bigger impact on my life is The Magicians than Harry Potter. Although I love Harry Potter. So, just kind of this jacket thing is fun. Next. What is the weirdest thing you've ever spilled on a book? Probably milk, which is gross, but probably milk, I would say. Or paint. Or glue. One of the 3. Next is, how do you organize your bookshelf? My bookshelf currently is sort of organized by color, but also it's just a giant mess. I was too close onto my face. There's this one over here. My room is a mess, okay? I don't live at home. I live at school, and so when I come home, I just throw things around, and it's just a mess all of the time. But it's normally by color or genre or just whatever I'm feeling in the moment. Next question. What attracts you to a book cover when you're browsing? This is my favorite book cover that I own, and that is Modern Lovers by Emma Straub. I think it's beautiful, it's simple, it's colorful, it pops. So all of those words. Next, what is your favorite word? I'm really into the word quiche. I think it's fun to say. Quiche. I also like prerogative. What else do I like? I don't know. I'm just feeling quiche at the moment. I don't even like quiches. Quiches? Very much like as a food, but I like saying the word quiche. Next. What are your rules on DNFing? Do you do it? What makes you likely to DNF a book? So down for now, or down now for, down forever? I don't understand. I know what DNFing is, but I can't think of what it stands for. Why do I DNF? I do DNF books, and then why do I do it? Oh man, love triangles. If I'm reading a YA book and I realize there's a love triangle that's about to happen, I DNF that book so quick. If it's boring me after the first 100 pages, if I can't get into it, that happens. And sometimes I just forget to finish a book. Oh, my favorite reason, forget to finish a book, that does happen. My favorite reason for me to DNF a book is that it's gotten too intense. And that happens normally in like series, like the last book in a series. For example, Laini Taylor's Dreams of Gods and Monsters series. I've now finished the last book. I stopped in the middle, even though I was enjoying it, because I didn't want the bad things to happen. So I just pretend like they're not happening, and then I just stop the book, which is great. And then finally, if you could have a job in publishing/books world, what would your dream job be? This is actually a real goal of mine. I'm going to grad school for a specific field that has to do with printing, and I really would like to design book covers or something to do with that. I think it's really interesting, and half of my brain is very Englishy, and half of my brain is like creative. So I would really like, I'm not saying that English isn't creative, but I'd really like to do that for a job. So that is the thing. Those are the questions. I'm going to tag some people down below, and I'm going to write some questions, and then if you guys want to do them, go for it. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.